Hey, good morning, everybody. We are about a minute and a half away from Fox 10 Talks. Hello, everybody. It's me, your friend, the Hooner. Hey, we've got a great show lined up. We have a water expert. Is there some hope for a long-term resolution? Plus, Adrian Fontes, the current Secretary of State, running for re-election. And is it time to ban Saturday weddings between now and December? Let's talk about it coming up. Here we are, 10 o'clock. It is time for Fox 10 Talks. And, you know, we had the tree that was knocked over there on the left. It always seems like whenever we get the big windstorms, there's always one random tree that just smashes into people's cars and into a carport. And, Celeste, it was windy last night. That's why we're showing that on the left-hand side. And then we got plenty of lightning as well.
Oh, my goodness. That storm moving through was just wild. I think it woke a lot of people from their slumber.
Slumber?
What is that? What is a slumber?
Well, but you were coming back. Weren't you coming back from a soccer game or something?
We were down in Marana, and it was football, and it got called because of all the lightning.
Yeah.
And so,
you could see it happening.
Yeah, and Crystal's been talking about this. A portion of the storm system and the winds came from the south, combined coming with the winds coming from the east.
Yes.
And we saw that storm system, and we're kind of in the middle of it.
Ooh.
From the south.
Yeah.
You know, we had so many different. I'm sure all of you at home, you had your phones were going off like crazy.
I know. Can I tell you the scariest drive I think I've ever made is one year we were coming back early September because it feels like August. It used to be July and August. Now it's August and September.
Yeah.
And there was we were flying back in to Sky Harbor right as they were closing the airport down.
Oh.
And we came in like this. I mean, it looked like we were within 60 seconds of landing, and all of a sudden it was like straight up like that.
Oh, you went back
up. And I mean, you were like feeling like, whoa, we're really going up. And the pilot didn't come on for a long time. Finally, after like 3 or 4 minutes, he's like, well, that was pretty intense right there. And they were closing the airport, and the wind shear was coming in, and the windshield cracked. And we got to find a place to get you people. So they're circling around for a while, and they finally decide to land in Tucson.
Yeah. Oh.
And so we sat on the plane in Tucson, I bet, for over an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
You had wind shear landing at Sky Harbor?
This was landing at Sky Harbor. So then we hot-footed out of there.
Yeah.
And eventually we land in Tucson. We're sitting on that plane for like an hour and a half. And they said, look, we're going to open the door. We're at a gate. If you guys want to get up and leave or do whatever, go for it. So we actually did. We went and we got a rent-a-car and drove back to the valley because I didn't know if we were going to be sitting there for 6 hours.
Well, you know the crazy thing, if any of you have ever done mountain flying, we had a wind shear, but it's interesting it happened here in Sky Harbor because usually it's in like a deeper valley. We had it in Sun Valley, Idaho, where it's like you're in a really deep. But wind shear is no joke. It'll push you right off the runway.
Sun Valley, Idaho, Celeste. Is that right?
Yes.
I got to introduce you to the Sunrise Ski Resort up at Pine Top.
I could introduce you to Arizona Snowball in Flagstaff.
Right here with Snowball. We love Snowball. We love Sunrise. All right, let's get on to the rest of what we've got coming up because we have plenty of weather highlights. You know, no doubt the storm woke you up.
Yeah.
And if it did,
It's crazy.
you are at the right spot because we've got all the highlights coming up. But also today on FTT, are there any real solutions out there that could give us some hope regarding the water crisis? Whoa.
I like that. Look
there.
at for all of you at home, that is a little behind the scenes action
Yeah, that was.
the studio.
We're just, it's just you and me and a great big green wall. So, Secretary of State Adrian Fontes will join us. You know, we've been going through all the candidates for the major races. Going to be good to get a visit in with him. You know, he's a former Marine. We can ask him about his time in the
He's a tall gentleman.
military. Yes, he is. And then is it time to just state, look, no more Saturday weddings from now until December?
You love this story.
Unless you can squeeze it in this Saturday, just real quick, you know, like a drive to Vegas, boom, it's all squared away.
And maybe share your thoughts on this in the chat. Saturday, no more Saturday weddings during the fall. Yay or nay?
I know. Well, it is college football season. And as I said on TV earlier this morning, we only get 12 days a year for college football games.
Yeah.
12 Saturdays.
And so how many days do we have left to get married?
353. Plenty to choose from. For every other day can be weddings.
That's right, buddy.
So, Celeste, let's get going here because everybody's talking about the storm. And as a matter of fact, listen and observe from Sholo. Wow. All right, that's the real deal up there, Celeste. The monsoon really smacking the state. And I it feels like everybody got it. Now, look, this is in the middle of the afternoon. You can tell it's still daylight up there, kind of out there just on the edge of Sholo. And a big thank you to Steve Benton for sharing this video. It was just pounding up in the Sholo Pine Top Lakeside area,
My
which means
goodness.
probably up towards Snowflake and Taylor too. And yeah, it could be pretty wild up there. But here in the valley, did it wake you up? Oh, well, no, you're driving back, so you didn't get back till...
Well, no, the storm for us in Central Phoenix, and let us know in the chat. Good morning, Dave's Camping Adventures. You know, what time did it hit for you? For us, I mean, we felt it on. We're driving through it from Mariana. That was around maybe 8-ish.
As you're starting to drive back?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it really, I was up at midnight last night and at 1 with the wind and the rain, and I kind of about 3 o'clock this morning when I woke up, I kind of looked outside and the ground was still wet and soaked, and so it really was a considerable storm.
You know, so I pretty much time my morning to the minute, and I pull out of the garage right at 5 a.m. to come on in, be in here, start on the air at 6. And so I pull out of the garage, and I look up and down the street to see if there's no traffic. And what do I see? Every single person's
Trash can
is blown over,
Yes.
starting with mine. And I'm like, I'm really in a little bit of a hurry. So I get out, and I put ours upright and the garbage that was here and there, and so you put it in. Then I look over at the Jacksons, and I'm like, I don't know if the sanitation engineer is coming by at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning. I'm going to help the Jacksons out. So they don't even know this.
Wow, so you were picking up trash at
the Jacksons.
Wow, early this morning.
Yeah. So if you get up and you still see your neighbor's got his garbage can out and it's strewn up and down the street, help a brother out.
Do the good deed.
Please. So anyway, it was pretty wild, but we have all kinds of highlights. We're going to get to it right now, as a matter of fact. Thank you to all of our viewers. And if you're ready, Celeste, here we go.
Let's go.
Ariana in Tempe came home from work to find palm tree branches in front of my gate to my apartment door. Oh, boy. All right, so we're going to cycle right through some of these. Look at this from Dre Navarro. Dre, please send us pictures every time, buddy. You have got the eye.
My goodness.
The lightning photos from the top of our house on Camelback Mountain. That, first of all, that's a spectacular view. Second of all, you're a great photographer. We want to hear from you more and more.
Okay, this one is from Cynthia in Levine, and you can see that. And Levine is kind of nestled right against the South Mountain.
That's a good word,
And
Celeste.
so nestled.
It is nestled at the foot of the mountains.
So when you have these storms come over, it gets crazy. By the way, someone in the chat said, I have a great great photo. Where can I send it? Fox10talks at fox.com.
Right. And I think that you can still use the QR code. So let's go through some more of these. Cherokee Cavazos out in Glendale, approximately 11 last night, 43rd Avenue and Northern. I was trying to figure out but now I get it figured out. Look at Old Glory. She's got the ring flying above Old Glory, because if you fly it at night, you're supposed to have a light on it. And then here's Teresa Molina. We go from Glendale right over to Tempe, and then look at that lightning. And then we got some other great pics too.
Oh,
this
my
one
gosh.
from Bob. Come on.
Yeah, no kidding. So Bob says these were taken, it says purple and pink sky photos, and you can see that in the sky with that big dust storm. And then this one from David in Chandler at the Chandler Airport. One of the planes kind of knocked over on its, leaning up on one of its wings.
Kind of cattywampus.
It is a little, yeah, it needs its V8.
And if you missed it, Annalisa's report from out there where the tree got knocked over and into some cars. Here we go.
I'm sure like many of you, that storm kept me up last night between the thunder, the lightning, and the wind. And it's also leaving behind a lot of damage. So take a look at just how big this tree is that came down. We're at an apartment complex in Ahwatukee near 48th and Warner. You can see the storms brought down this huge tree onto the parking lot awning. And another thing we've seen this morning is crews at work working to clear up any debris in the street, and then also just, remove any hazard. We've seen a number of tree branches that are close to snapping, could just snap and fall down with a slight gust of wind. So we've seen a bunch of crews out this morning during our time traveling around the valley, making sure that those hazards are taken care of, because we saw a lot of wind, rain, and lightning. Take a look at this video that shows a pretty heavy shower coming down around Broadway and Dobson Roads in Mesa overnight. And many parts of the valley saw at least something like that, but also big issue was the wind. And while we didn't see too much major damage in the overnight hours, we did see this, and power lines knocked down and crews working to fix the lines and restore power. We saw crews going up and down the roads in Mesa, examining power lines and cables, making sure everybody's power is back. And they were also near 8th Avenue and Dobson Road in Mesa. And we talked to people here in Ahwatukee stopping to take pictures of this massive tree that came down. Take a listen.
The thunder was really loud. It sounded like the roof was going to come off. And then the lightning. And then just the winds. The winds were crazy. I'm on the golf course side. And I don't know, the winds, it was really bad. It sounded horrible. I would have slept through it if not for him. He was terrified. And you can see he's a big boy, and he's like right here on the pillow and shaking. And yeah, it was bad.
Well, you can't blame a pup like
gosh.
that. He wants to be next to his mama.
Yeah, no kidding. Let me read a couple of quick comments, Ron, if it's okay.
Yes.
Little Philosophy says, awesome storm. Louis Gonzalez says, I just got clouds and thunder here in Pima, Arizona.
Okay.
Burger Boy 25 says, I feel like Payson is getting ripped off here. We don't get anything. No rain, no wind.
Right.
And Jared of Sonora says, in Youngtown, barely anything.
Is that right? Because
Yeah.
Glendale and Levine, which is nestled at the foot of South Mountain, is they really got hammered.
They
You go
really
a little bit
did.
further north. That's why it's so tough to be the weather person in this town.
It really is.
You know?
Mother Nature, she's a little temperamental.
But share your stories. I mean, I've talked about the fact where I live out there in Eastmark, we're right under the pattern of the Gateway Airport.
You're nestled almost against the Santan Mountains.
Earplugs in, a face mask. I woke up finally at midnight, and
You
I'm
wear
like,
a face mask to bed?
what's going on? It's midnight, and I can hear. And so I opened the back door, and it was just like torrents.
Oh.
It was torrents.
I'm
Celeste,
still hooked on the fact that you wear a face mask. Here's your mystery camera. We'll be right back.
Stockholm. I'm leaving.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's Fox 10 Talks with Ron and Celeste. So, Celeste, are either you or I in Gen Z? I don't think we are.
No. I think my kids are Gen Z.
Okay. Well, you better have a chat.
Like, I think.
You better have a chat with them because this is starting to break up Gen Z friendships. People are going out for a meal and they're having arguments about how much to split up the bill. Which is fair. If you've got four friends together, you should pay for your fair share.
Especially if, like, let's say somebody wanted to join, but they had just ate a meal with somebody else and they just had something to drink. Like, maybe you just ordered an iced tea.
Correct. And then the other thing is like one nice person will say, well, I'll pick up the tab. You guys just Venmo me.
Yeah.
But then they're not Venmoing back anywhere close to the, because you go and you have like a slice of pizza and your friend has 3 beers and orders a big dessert on top. I mean, you got to be fair about it.
Yeah, and
right?
just be
It's a big thing
I think
now.
you have to be courteous too when you go out in groups.
Yes.
You just have to know and assume that, you know what, we're all splitting the bill. And a lot of restaurants, they don't let you split the bill. You know what I mean? So you have to do that whole thing.
Do we not have AI? Can we not figure out how to split a bill?
I know.
Anyway, 76% say they have never ever been fully paid back.
Oh.
And 55% say it's broken up some friendships.
Oh, jeez.
So that is something to keep your eye on. Hey, one other thing, and then we got a great
Hold on,
guest
Ron.
for you.
Your
Thank
hair's
you,
sticking up
Celeste.
right
Thank you.
there.
Is that your own way of complimenting me on my latest haircut?
Yeah. Did you go to your barbershop?
I did.
Oh,
Have
did
heard
you
of these
did you
guys
ask
before?
him to come in for our conversation
No,
yesterday?
but next time I go, I'll get some pictures. But we explained yesterday, I don't really speak Spanish. They don't really speak English, so it's a lot of sign language.
Ron,
really is what it
it's the easiest language. Hola.
Hola.
Ajá.
¿Qué tal?
¿Qué tal?
Okay.
¿Cómo te llamas? What
Mucho
is your
gusto.
Me llamo Ron.
Sí.
¿Cómo te llamas usted? You know,
Yes.
what is your name?
I know. This is like, what is it, Babel? Or whatever. Anyway, it's National Radio Day, so Celeste, I like to bring out the old photo from, it feels like it was just a few years ago.
Oh my
where
gosh. Ron,
I'm DJing.
look at those bones. Your cheekbones are just like your whole face. You're just, you're in the moment.
I guess so. You know, you know who was big in 77? I was trying to model my look after a guy named Andy Gibb.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know who Andy Gibb is.
Oh, he was.
But
he was one of the Bee. Well, he was like a lesser Bee Gee.
Oh, a lesser
He wasn't
Bee
in the
Gee?
real Bee Gees, but
Poor
he was
guy.
their brother.
Wow.
So anyway,
I bet he, was he jealous probably of your feathered gold locks?
I don't know. But Brian, our music expert, got in my ear and said he was one of the brothers. Brian was a little offended that I called him a lesser Bee Gee. Anyway, hey, we have Sharon Megdal here. She is a returning guest, this time in person, as opposed to, last time we had you was on Zoom. We're all worried about our water situation, and we figured we want to get the straight scoop from you, but maybe we want to get a little bit of hope, too, because I know that you and a lot of people in academia and in the industry are trying to figure out a way through all this.
Yes, well, good morning.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
having me on in person. That's exciting for me. The water scene is challenging, to
Yes.
say the least.
Right.
And it's all over the news that the Colorado River system is in crisis, not enough water to go around. The federal government is figuring out how to divvy it up. What it's proposing is not particularly kind or good to Arizona, so we're waiting to see what they release maybe this week, certainly this month, on operating guidelines. So there's bad news, but there's also mitigating or good news, and that is our water utilities, whether it's here in the valley, whether it's Tucson where I live and other places, they've done a good job managing water resources. People aren't going to see immediate impacts at their homes. There have already been impacts to agriculture in central Arizona. So it depends on who you are, where you are, what the impacts are, but it's not a pretty picture. Our state, our officials, our leaders, they're all trying to take actions to get us prepared and are prepared in the short term, but then also look at the long term. What do we do to diversify our water resources so we're not so dependent on the Colorado River, which may not recover from these low flows? Now, next year is predicted to be this super El Nino, and yet we don't know exactly what that means for the Colorado River. And the one thing I do want to say is I'm talking about the Colorado River, and the river's headwaters are north of us. They're not here, but it's an important source for us. Of course, the precipitation here is important too, but what happens in the Colorado River is important for Arizona.
What are your thoughts on California? Uses a lot of reports say a lot of water. Obviously, it's a big state, very populated, but they're on the Pacific coast. So there's been a lot of chatter, and I remember former Governor Doug Ducey talked about a desalinization plant. They talked about one in California for quite some time. What are your thoughts on those and whether or not they can help maybe California or us here in Arizona?
We do the state of Arizona, the Central Arizona Project, Nevada. We collaborate with California. We've been working with them on some of their projects, including their project to use more wastewater rather than just have it dump into the Pacific Ocean. So there's been collaboration on water resources with the hope that we help pay for some water development there in exchange for diverting some of their Colorado River water into Arizona through the Central Arizona Project. That also goes for desalination with Mexico. We've been looking at that. And then most recently, there is the discussions going on between San Diego County Water Authority, Phoenix, Tucson, and I think some others, because they do have a big desalination plant in Carlsbad, California.
Yeah.
So there is desalinated water being produced, but you have to figure out
what can you use it for? Is it drinkable?
Oh yeah, the desal plants is very expensive water, so it's not used for agriculture. It's used for drinking water, and it's only a portion of that region.
Okay.
But it is it's a source there. It's drought proof. They've got a big plant. It's expensive to produce. And then there's the question of, okay, are we talking about pumping their desalinated water here to Arizona? That isn't what we're talking about. What we're talking about is we help pay for some of that water to be produced, and in exchange, we get some of their Colorado River water and we divert it into central Arizona instead of them diverting it for their use.
So helping them take care of their residents and pump the water there.
Yeah, they use less Colorado River water, so we can use some of that water, and in exchange, we help pay for some of the water that's the substitute water.
Are we to the point where, technologically speaking, we can reuse, recycle water over? Is the future looking like reusing our water, recycling through wastewater treatment, et cetera, over and over again?
We already do a lot of that. What is the state of the art now, and here in Arizona, rules have been approved by the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality to allow for treatment at such high levels that the water that comes out of that treatment process can go into people's homes as potable water and be delivered.
So you're saying we're on the verge of that?
We're kind of there. There are a couple places in the United States that do that.
Okay.
In Arizona, the city of Phoenix is looking at that and developing a plant or two. The city of Tucson is doing that. Scottsdale had done that through a pilot program, and I think it's under consideration there. It's called Advanced Water Purification.
Yeah.
And the point is, it's so advanced that it can be used for drinking
It better be
water.
advanced.
Wow.
I'm just going to say that.
Yes.
Okay. But it's trustworthy. You're not worried about it.
No, but it would be interesting to see if I look afterwards to some of your streaming comments to what people have to say about that, because I do think there's still this this concern, it's sometimes called the yuck factor or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is very highly treated. There's testing going on and everything else. It's expensive too. But the point for Arizonans here is that we've been using the cheaper water available to us. And there's less Colorado River water. We've been using groundwater. It's not being replenished. So if we need to find new sources, it will be more expensive for us.
Do you think that would help with, I was kind of, upset to hear that it takes more water to run a farm in agriculture than it does to house or to fill, I guess, homes with water, right? Like small subdivisions. And so then you run into the situation where then you're cutting farmers out, where you're encouraging farmers to sell their property. Is there a way to help farmers and to keep some of that local agriculture, so people can still go to a farmer's market or eat local produce and we still kind of care for our water in Arizona?
Farming agriculture is a very important part of Arizona. I mean, it has been since its formation. But take a look at the Phoenix Valley. If you look at what the Phoenix Valley looked like 100 years ago, it was highly agricultural, not that many people. And then there's been almost a full transition to non-agricultural activity. But people do like local farms. They like local produce. It helps keep our area cooler to have farming. And then we have areas like Yuma that are highly, highly agricultural. So yes, there's the question of what do we want to look like? What do we want our state to look like? But there's also the issue of water rights. Agriculture has some very senior water rights to the Colorado River. They have water rights to groundwater while it's available. So there's lots of trade-offs, but there is the opportunity to incentivize more efficient use of water and to keep agriculture along with the urbanization that's going on.
We only have a minute left. Arizona, my understanding, is the only state that has to prove when new developments go in, people want to keep moving here, that you have a 100-year water supply. Do we still have enough water to continue to grow? The projections show that we could, in 20 years, be another 1 to 2 million people.
So that's probably the $64 billion question, not $1 million question anymore. And the thing is that we're developing strategies to make sure that water's not a limiting factor to growth, but we have to recognize that there are limits to the water available. So we have to use water more wisely, conserve more, and it's hard to imagine what things will look like another 20 or 30 years from now, but there is the issue of, you brought up how much agriculture uses. There's a new program within the Department of Water Resources that allows conversion from agriculture to municipal use. So I would say people are going to work very hard to make sure we have enough water.
Awesome.
Sharon, thanks so much for your time.
Sharon, thanks for coming in studio.
A wealth of information you are.
You're amazing. All right, here's our mystery camera. We'll be right back.
Oh, you were going to talk to me about
and see if we got any guesses?
We do have some guesses in here.
Okay,
We got some really good guesses. Texas from B. Miguel.
Could be, yeah.
New Mexico from Linda Monter. And California from Burger Boy 25.
I almost thought Arizona when I first saw it, but then I saw the wooden fences, and that's a giveaway because we go with the more sturdy block wall fences.
Right. So I'm going to go with like an Oklahoma. What do you think, Ron?
Well, it's awfully flat. So I'm going to go just a little closer. I'm going to say Texas.
Oh, wow.
Texas and Oklahoma.
And we
Those
have
are
an
our
El
two.
Centro from Thomas Brown. I've driven through El Centro
I could see
many,
that.
many times.
Thank you, Thomas.
They have a
for that
brand new
one.
mall there with a Sephora and a Kohl's.
Have you actually stopped into that mall?
I haven't yet, but I've seen the sign a zillion times.
I know. I
If
go
had an-
cruising down the 8. I'm like, the city's over here, and then you got the mall over there. And one of these times, I'm going to stop in there.
Okay, are we ready for the big reveal?
Yes, please.
Okay, so here we go.
Okay. Oh, you want your camera shot?
Yeah, well, it's not mine, it's ours,
I've
Ron.
almost made the biggest mistake of the day without giving Celeste her camera shot. Here we go.
More Oklahoma.
Well, that was going to be.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Oh,
Holy
we got
dirt.
Adrian
Mr.
Fontes in
Fontes.
here.
Because of the color of the dirt in the background there, right at about 3 o'clock.
let's go
look
back
at
to it.
this. Okay, ready? Here's one more look.
See the color of the
over there
dirt
to
right
the
there.
red.
Right at about
yeah.
4
We're gonna
o'clock there
put
in the
some new
picture.
houses in there.
Have you been
Yeah.
to Oklahoma?
It's uncanny if you're driving. I don't know which number highway it is across the Panhandle in Texas, right at the Oklahoma line. The earth turns red.
Oh.
It's just I don't know if that's where they picked it.
Is that on
but-
the 40 then? So you've been through
probably is.
Amarillo.
Yeah, when I was a
and then you
kid, my
crossed-
folks
yeah.
drove us from Nogales across up to Albuquerque, all the way across the United States.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted us to actually experience how big this country is.
Yeah.
We had cornbread in Nebraska and Kentucky Fried Chicken in Kentucky and cheesecake in New
Nice.
York.
Yeah.
We did the whole thing, but that was one of the things. In fact, we stopped at the sign of a little town right in the Panhandle called Adrian, Texas.
Oh, took a photo?
Yeah, I took a photo. Yeah, there's a photo somewhere of me as a little kid
Oh, that's
in the
cool.
Panhandle there.
Did you stop at that steakhouse in Amarillo called the Big Texan? That's the one where if you can finish the 72-ounce steak
Holy cannoli.
and the baked potato and the dessert, it's free. But you got to do it in 1 hour.
We didn't get to Amarillo, but I did get my name on the wall at Durant's before the change of ownership.
yes.
Back in.
So you're on the wall?
I am on the
'Cause-
wall
yeah, 'cause
because
they
they
have a-
saved that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my wife loves telling the story. Our first date was that night, and I don't know why, but I decided to take the steak challenge on our first date.
On your first date?
Well, I figured, if
Is
she
that
could,
what- is
if
that
she
what
can
sold
handle
her?
me. Well, not my first. This is my second wife. If it was, I figured if she can handle me at my meat sweaty worst, then we're good to go.
That's a
So
bold
how'd you
move
do?
on a first date.
I did. I ate the whole thing. I'm up on the wall. There's
all
a
right.
2019 to 2021 plaque in that one room in the back there at Durant's, and my name's right there in the middle column, about 4 or 5 down.
Well, the fact that
Yeah.
you did that is you're a man of you like to take risks.
I
If you're in your
yeah.
meat, and if she loves you with your meaty sweats, you took a bit. That was a gamble.
That's
Celeste
That was a
likes
gamble.
analyzing personality.
I like
So
that.
that's, you're a
You know
man
what I
who
mean?
likes
Yeah.
to take
And
risks.
you're a politician, Secretary of State. So
Yeah.
first of all, let's welcome you
Thank you.
here. Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
glad
for
that you're
having
here.
me.
And we're going to talk about a lot of issues, but we're glad that you're here. So thank you
Happy
for
to be
taking
here
some
with
time
you.
with
Yeah,
us.
We
you
like
bet.
to start with the hard questions, and then we get into the fun
Sure,
questions later
sure.
on.
I think we already got some fun ones in, though.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did already. So here you are, 4 years in. What have you not accomplished in the first 4 years that you feel you need the next 4 years?
Well, there's several things that we've been very direct in asking for. Number one, fully funding the information technology infrastructure of the office. And that means cybersecurity, network security, the personnel necessary to uphold our systems. We need a new voter registration system. We've needed that for years and years, which is the statewide system that supports the day-to-day activities of all of our counties. So we're a trustee of that. They're the ones that do all the data manipulation, but it's got to be in one place so that the counties can talk to each other through that system. So that's really important. We haven't been able to get the legislature to do any of that. We've been talking about security. You can't be secure if you don't have the resources to do it. So that's one of the things that we haven't been successful at yet. We've had some stopgap funding, to be fair, from the Joint Legislative Budget Committee. We've gotten some ARPA funding from the governor. So the legislature and the governor do, when it's like we have to have it now, emergency style stuff, they'll pitch in. But at the end of the day, the Department of State is charged with 3 main things that are all underfunded. Number one, being stewards of our history and heritage with the library archives and public records. We need a new archival building badly. We've needed one for 20 years. The Polly Rosenbaum building is great.
Where is that located?
That's just on the other side of the railroad tracks, across 19th Avenue from where the state capitol complex is.
Okay.
It's actually it's the most expensive building that the state owns because of the laboratory-like circumstances, the freezers and the heaters and stuff that we use to preserve those archival records and rare books and things of this nature. So it's really interesting. You should come down and take a tour. It's kind of cool. We also have business services, which we've kind of muddled through pretty well to improve that stuff, shorten call time, make sure our services are available, taking business services out to rural communities. We've been able to do that. But I really want to shore that up because small businesses, particularly in rural Arizona, that's the backbone of what our state ought to be about. And to be able to take that economic development muscle out into rural communities, there's some great examples of the one business in particular, two kids that went to school together since kindergarten in Prescott, ended up at Embry-Riddle. They're now working for a flight simulator company in Prescott, Arizona. Good high-tech jobs, they're making good salaries, and they stayed in Prescott. And this is a story of success where rural Arizona keeps its folks nearby, has great salaries for these folks. That's what we need more of in this state. And then third, of course, elections. This should not be controversial to supply our voters with systems that they can confide in. But the bottom line is you can have great services for folks, but if the underlying technical infrastructure is being funded in a model from 1986, when you've got technology that needs funding from a new model where it's just constantly changing and stuff, we're using rules that don't apply anymore, and that gives us technology that doesn't apply anymore. Some of our servers are old enough themselves to vote, which is crazy to me. So we really have been talking about these things for 4 years, and we've kind of shaken out all of the couch cushions and made some efficiencies that we didn't even think were going to be possible. But I think we've got a lot of work still to do. Number one is to get the Department of State the resources it needs to do its job. We just want to do our job.
I think people see a lot of you when it comes to election time and election period, but they don't see all the other things that go on within your office. You mentioned a couple of them kind of reaching out to rural Arizona. What's the biggest misconception about the Secretary of State job?
That it's just elections. I
Yeah.
mean, you hit the nail on the head, Celeste, right there with that description. People see and hear the stuff that is controversial or kind of a political big deal. The bottom line is we're an economic driver. We're the office that saved Business One Stop. That thing online where you can go get all your business stuff done at state government instead of having to go to this office and that office and this office. You can deal with all the regulations and bureaucracy in one place. It was a dream of the Ducey administration. It did not manifest in several of the first budgets of what we're dealing with now, but we went and we saved it because we knew it was a great idea. And it didn't matter who it came from. It should never matter. If you've got a great idea, bring it forward, we'll promote it. So that's one of the things that I think is most important, is that in the spaces where we're not super visible, we can be super impactful. And we can keep and create more jobs in greater Arizona. I'm from Nogales. I know what it's like to be a native Arizonan and not be from the great state of Maricopa. It's lonely out there sometimes. They don't get the attention, they don't get the resources, but they deserve it. They deserve to have state officers who not only are from there, but care and want to see those smaller communities really develop.
Are there one or two or three counties that I can see you have a real emphasis on rural Arizona. Are there one or two or three counties that you're particularly concerned about, that they especially are not getting the resources? They need a little more help?
I think that concern falls in different categories. So let me give you a for example. I can go to just about any municipality in the state, and what are they going to say? They say, we've got huge opportunities, we're going to grow, we're going to get bigger, but we need two things, and two things more than anything else. We need water and we need power. You go to Yuma, you go to Sierra Vista, you go to Holbrook, you go to Kingman, you go just about anywhere in the state, cover the four quadrants of the whole state. They need water and they need power, and that's what we ought to be providing as sort of that big government infrastructure capacity building to be doing. not individual. So again, to your question, individual counties have individual needs, and they're different, right? You've got a huge ag base out in Yuma County, right? They know how to use water really, really well. And now they have a limited supply like everybody else does. But there's folks internationally that'll go to the farmers down in Yuma and they'll say, how do you guys do this without
And
any
I think
water?
a lot of them are using drones in agriculture too. They've really been very,
Absolutely.
very smart, especially in Yuma County, and utilizing technology in the agriculture work that they
I'll
do.
tell you what, Arizona Western College every year has this fair where they bring out all the newest in farming technology and stuff. They got some really smart people out there in ag. Do not undercount the farmers in Arizona and just be, they're not hayseeds. These are technicians. These are smart business strategists. They are advancing their plans step by step. But they really need a state government that is responsive and can plan long-term into the future, not just to the next election cycle or the next news cycle. And that's the problem, I think, the biggest problem in politics.
How do we, you mentioned water, and we just had an expert on from the U of A talking
Yeah.
about water issues. I know it's kind of a mammoth when it comes to a topic, but your thoughts on that and maybe helping some of the farmers in our state.
We got about a minute till the break.
I think what we need to do is have a pragmatic approach. We need to have everybody at the same table at the same time and understand this is a limited resource, but we've got to figure out a way to maintain it for generations, not just for the next profit cycle.
Okay.
And that's what we need to do, because otherwise you're not going to have any more profit cycles in the future.
Well, we are going to be talking more politics once we come back after the break. Can you stick around for a few
You
more
bet.
minutes?
Happy to be here.
It's your attempt at 4 more years.
Yep.
And you've got a challenger, and we're going to get into all of that after
Yeah.
the break.
So stay
We are
tuned for
here
that.
with the Secretary of State Adrian Fontes.
All right, Ron, where is this?
That's Jacksonville, Florida.
Nice work.
You know, it's interesting too because I was just down there a couple of years ago, and it looks like, how do they get by with that one sleepy old bridge? Well, you don't see. There's a big old I-10, like 8 lanes just down the road right there. You can still make it to the Jaguar games. We'll be right back.
All right, sweet.
And we welcome you back. Governor Hobbs is speaking after just signing a bill. Let's go down to the legislature and at the executive tower and take a listen.
On getting measures on the ballot, and I voted against most of those. Probably all of them. I can't rattle them all off the top of my head, but so yes, I think that most of those restrictions are bad, and when I had the chance to vote against them, I did.
Follow up to the fact that that's not going to be on the ballot, what should anti-ESA advocates be putting their focus on, and what can you do as governor over the next 4 years to restrict ESA since you want to?
Well, as you know, I've continued to put forward proposals that impose reasonable guardrails and rein in the waste, fraud, and abuse that we're seeing in the ESA program, and we're going to have to continue to work to do that, and hopefully we'll have a legislative majority that also wants to do that.
Confident are you that you'll have a legislative majority to get that done?
I'm not even focused on that right now. I'm focused on.
You're not focused on politics or the campaign.
Honestly, I'm going to continue to work across the aisle to address challenges that Arizonans are facing, whoever is in the legislature, and that will be the case with ESAs or whatever other issues are in front of us.
All right, so there's the governor. We'll continue to monitor it there as she has that signing. I guess it was a ceremonial signing for a piece of legislation to protect victims of domestic violence.
Yeah, and SB 1503 to ensure families of first responders are supported when tragedy strikes.
Okay.
So there's a couple things she signed.
Yeah. By the way, we are with the Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes. You know, we have seen in the past where a governor leaves the state of Arizona and goes to maybe, I don't know if you want to call it greener pastures or whatever, but multiple times we've seen the Secretary of State move into that position. Now there's somebody in your way.
Well, no, I wouldn't say in my way. I'd say relieving me of those duties.
Of those burdens?
Yeah.
What do you think about that whole
Yeah.
change?
I don't. You know, it's interesting. Arizona had proposed creating a new executive office for many years and many different times over the years. It had happened. And the voters really never wanted to do it, and then this time it just kind of snuck in, and that's fine. You know, I think it makes sense to have some continuity of party, I suppose, because as you mentioned, we've had a lot of turnover in parties between like when Janet Napolitano left and Jan Brewer became the governor and so on, and so okay, that makes sense, but for me it doesn't make a hill of beans a difference. I have my job to do. My portfolio is set. One of the things we also do that we didn't talk about in the first segment was we have the address confidentiality program in our office where victims of stalking and domestic violence are protected. Their addresses are protected in my office. So we act as kind of a buffer between those active stalkers and the victims' families and their households. So we do play a role in that as well. But as far as the lieutenant governor's office is concerned, you know what? That's what the voters wanted, so that's what the voters are going to get.
There you go. Speaking of voters, I think some people were pleasantly surprised at how smoothly this last election went. All of a sudden, we seem efficient like Florida, and we're not sitting around for 3 weeks like they do
Waiting
in California.
for results.
What happened?
Well, look, you know what happened was I became the Secretary of State. And
well, now.
you can look at, let's talk about this, Ron.
Okay.
Did we have any issues in the presidential preference election, the first statewide under my administration in 24?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Did we have any issues in the primary in 24?
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
How about the general in 24? Nope. I was the chief election
So
officer.
We were late. The counting took a very long time,
Yeah.
especially
That's
in
not
those
true,
close
Ron,
races.
and I'm going to push
No,
back a little bit friendly.
There
Here's
were 4,
why I'm
5,
going to
and
say.
6 days that we waited.
Oh
on
my
some of
gosh! Sometimes we have to wait 10 or 11 days, and the 4, 5,
But
and
then
6 is a lot
that plays
closer.
into people's conspiracy theories.
Well,
and all
the
rest,
conspiracy
so.
theory, again, is based on the notion that the networks will predict on the night of, and that's an actual result.
Okay.
That's just not true.
Yeah.
That is a network prediction. Real results, as we know, and we should talk about them as different from network predictions, real results don't happen until you're done counting.
So what changed this time around?
Well, this time around, the legislature worked together, and our office was advising in the backside. The Board of Supervisors put enough money into Maricopa County to actually create the mechanism for these new systems. It was a law that the governor signed so that we could shift the way we tabulated things. And the county recorder and the election director, working for the recorder's office and the Board of Supervisors, executed well. This is an example of a whole bunch of different people and a whole bunch of different parties working together. And behind the scenes, everybody just wanted to make sure that we could take care of this, and it worked well. There wasn't a lot of back and forth on cable TV. There wasn't a lot of political hoo-ha going on. What we had was people in governance quietly getting the job done. And so we have quicker actual results, and I'll give that to you. Mm-hmm. But again, I want to dispel the mythology. You will never have actual results on election night. That's not possible. So I think
to Ron's point, I think it was because there's other states who seem like they're not waiting days, right, for actual results, or even countries. You hear stories about countries, everybody goes in and they vote in person, and here's the result. And you mentioned this, that there's a mechanism. That's the word you just used. There's a mechanism in place. What was the mechanism? You mentioned all these people in different offices working, but plenty of those people have been there in the past, So what was the mechanism?
So the law changed so that you could have early ballots tabulated on election day, on election day. You could have you had resource changes so that you had a lot more people doing the work. Right, and that's where the County Board of Supervisors came in and put the funding on the table. So you had legal shifts, you had resource shifts that actually made this happen. This isn't any one person. No one person should be taking credit. No one party should be taking credit. And if that's what the voters want, then that's what the voters got, and good. This is about following the rules and following the law. It used to be that we were prevented from doing certain things because of the way the law was and because of the resource allocation.
Why are you a better candidate, well, I guess maybe more qualified, however you want to put it, when it comes to the selection now? I mean, the real reason that we're in campaign season, here's your primary opponent now. I should say your essential opponent as we've been through the primaries. Why are you better for the next 4 years than Alex Culloden?
And first of all, what do you think when you look at him? What are the thoughts?
Well, this is a family show, so I'll keep it to what the facts are. The facts are that Alex Culloden has been adjudicated as a liar by the state Supreme Court. He's been forced to take ethics classes by the Arizona State Bar because he misrepresented the truth in official court filings, and they had to do with elections. Alex Culloden does not want anyone to vote by mail. He wants to force every voter in Arizona to stand in lines because that's what he thinks everybody ought to do, and he will force that to happen. That's what Prop 144 is going to do, right? It's going to force people to stand in line. This is a guy who wanted to legalize weapons of war, including pipe bombs and hand grenades. This is a guy who said that Sandra Day O'Connor was a mediocre jurist and should never have been on the Supreme Court. This is a guy who would not vote for penalties for people who committed stolen valor as against the honor of veterans like me and other people who wore the uniform. This is a guy who is a radical extremist. And if there's anything that qualifies me better than him, more than anything else, is I have actually been a county recorder in Arizona, run successful elections, the most widely scrutinized elections in the world, by the way, and no facts have ever been found to show evidence of any issues. I just talked about 2024 and so far in 2026, how we've had great elections. He can't complain about the fact that under my administration, he's been elected. He won his primary. Was he complaining about that?
What are your thoughts on this is kind of as we'll wrap up here because we're coming up to the end of the show, but what are your thoughts on a holiday so everybody gets the day to go vote? Well,
it's the same as my thoughts on just about anything else. We have 27 days, and the reality is who gets the holidays off? Bankers and lawyers and tax people. Did you get holidays off, Ron?
Nope.
No.
I mean, unless I put in for them, but then I have to fight Celeste for Christmas.
So like regular.
And I'm a tough cookie, Ron.
So regular working people aren't going to. Regular working people don't get the holidays off, right? So look, we've got a very robust vote by mail system, and it's utilized by well over 85% of Arizonans. I'm not a big fan of the holiday. That's where I differ with my party, which, I have a very independent way of looking at things. I am a pragmatist. I work across the aisle. We've achieved a lot of great things in Arizona for Arizona's voters, some of which I'll take credit for, some of which I'll share credit because credit is due. Look, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has done a great job. It's a 4-1 Republican board, but they're doing good for their voters. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm hoping folks will reelect me as Secretary of State, because I'm not playing politics with elections. I'm advocating for what's best for Arizona's voters, whether or not the extremists like it.
We always ask people, what's your website?
electfontes.com. They can go www.electfontes.com. And yeah, I'm hoping to get folks to support and their votes. And we can have 4 more years of just pragmatic, get the job done from the Secretary of State.
Thanks for your time. We have about a minute left. We have
Thank
one
you.
other story we have to get in.
Yes, we do.
This is what we
Are you a football
officially
fan?
called Celeste Story
I
of
am
the
a
Day.
football fan.
He's a
Okay.
football fan, Ron.
Yeah, this is good. You went to ASU, so do you live,
I did. Go
eat,
Sun Devils.
breathe, devil?
We used to go every game when Frank Cush was the coach. From 1972 to 1979, we would drive up from Nogales to watch.
Well, I mean, you're
at
the
Sun Devil
Secretary of State. Do we need a law for no weddings on Saturdays between now and December? Could you come down on one side or the other of that issue?
I think if people are not football fans, they should have the choice to get married, but no one's going to show up. So, I mean, at least I won't.
Okay.
Here's the quote from this. Okay, so this is actually kind of like a trending topic that people are talking about because we're in fall. This one gentleman, he says, my wife dragged me to an October wedding back in 2021 on a college football Saturday, and she still hasn't heard the end of it from me. She said, Florida lost to Kentucky in the middle of the reception. You likely have never seen a more miserable man during the electric slide.
See, and my take on it is, so you guys are both ASU. I'm old Pac-12, the Huskies, UW. Look, we get 12 days a year for college football games.
Yeah.
12 days. You can take the 353 other days and have weddings whenever you want.
I tell you what, Ron, you're a braver man than me if you want to fight against those brides and their calendars. You're a braver man than I am.
Bridezilla's going to be coming out, Ron.
Yeah, don't send it to the secretary. Send it to Ron.
Maybe that's something we'll put on the ballot.
There's only 3 of us at this table. Only one has enough power to even see something like
I'll
that.
be the referee.
Get pushed through. All right. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks for coming in.
Good to be with you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so
Stay in
much.
touch.
All right, and here is a look here at, where'd you say Florida, Ron?
Yep, Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's kind of a quiet day there. Thank you for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Ty and Anita are next. See you tomorrow.
Fox 10 Talks at 11 continues with a
jam-packed show, and this one is legit jam-packed.
Yeah, we have a really exciting guest in the second half. Not that you're not exciting, because you are.
You're always excited.
You are our permanent house.
I say I'm just a regular at this point.
Man, that storm was wild.
Wicked.
Did the alert wake you?
I didn't get one.
You didn't?
No, I don't think I
not
was
far
in.
enough
I
in
don't
the
think I was
depths
far
of
enough
it,
in the
yeah.
depths
We
of it.
got 3. My personal phone, my work phone, and my husband's phone.
Yep.
It was wild, though. I mean, the wind was just whipping, and then came the rain.
Dust.
And then the destruction that we've been seeing today from some of those live
trees
shots,
and
pretty
power lines
brutal.
and roofs and block walls. I mean, this is the effects of a good monsoon season, right? As you get the rain, but you also get the dust and the wind and the damage. So we did get a lot of rain, though, on the bright side, particularly over the East Valley, which is always nice. We can always use the moisture. I pulled the numbers from Maricopa County Flood Control District, and you could see Apache Junction in that quarter to half an inch range. Queen Creek at about 0.8 of an inch of rain. Gilbert, it was kind of hit or miss. I felt like we got a pretty good amount in my house because it kept me up. But we also got some very strong winds. And then you could see Mesa to Tempe, and then down to Chandler is really where the numbers got exploded. Then you had anywhere from half an inch to over an inch of rain. There was a report of 1.25 inches, 202 area. And then you can see that 1 1/4 as well down near Guadalupe. And then those larger numbers spilled into parts of downtown Phoenix and around Sky Harbor, where they picked up 0.56 inches officially of rain. Yeah, which is pretty good. And then you can see the numbers in South Scottsdale as well, 1/4 inch to half an inch, but then much less as you got into the north part of the valley and the west portions of the valley, where it was a few hundredths of an inch to maybe a few tenths of an inch. Cave Creek picked up 1/3 of an inch of rain. I mean, still, everyone got at least some rain, but the best of it was definitely the East Valley. The winds was the other factor. They were so loud. I was so worried for my trees in my backyard. Anytime we have these big winds, I'm like, oh no, my trees. It was almost 70-mile-per-hour gusts at Phoenix Sky Harbor, 66-mile-per-hour gusts. Deer Valley, Falcon Field, Mesa Gateway were both over 60, and East Mesa was also at 60 miles per hour. So those were the strongest gusts. But there were a lot of places between that 40 to 60 range when it came to those wind gusts, not just in the valley, but in the vicinity, like Pinal County as well, because of the way that the storms rolled through. So this is the future cast for today, because we're not necessarily done with storm chances. It's just they're in a little different location. So this is 2 this afternoon, and the model shows us that the storms are kind of wrapping today. I'm drawing. Oh, is it not going to let me draw? Oh, it's
Try
not
a
letting me
piece
draw
of
on
paper
it.
under your mouth.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that the settings on this graphic isn't letting me draw very well. But it's moving more from east to west than from pushing up from the southeast to the northwest, which was more the flow yesterday. So while there is still a low chance that a shower storm could make its way into the valley, more so the high country is where we'll be watching for storm activity. You can see it there. This is at 6 p.m. and it still shows quite a bit of thunderstorm activity. Eastern, northern Arizona. The valley storms may try to skirt along the north edge. And other than that, notice to the south, while there are a few isolated thunderstorms, it's not the huge clusters that we had last night, which triggered the outflow winds that helped to create storms in the valley. So yesterday we talked about winds coming from the south, storms coming from the east. The combo really hitting the valley good. We don't have quite as much of the combo effect today. Plus, we zapped our battery. We used a lot of the atmosphere's energy. I know. Wow. What are you excited about?
I don't know.
Okay.
You don't often hear about people zapping their battery.
Oh, well, I talk about this sometimes that when we have a lot of energy in our atmosphere, that helps make those big storms.
Yeah.
But usually a day after it, you've zapped the battery, so you don't have as much. But
I
anyways,
like that. I like that saying.
things will dry out overnight, and then they're fairly quiet by tomorrow morning. So again, there's a low chance that you could see a shower or storm develop in the valley, but if it happens, I think it'd be running along the north edge of the valley, where we didn't get as much activity just yesterday evening. Temperatures are still going to be quite hot, although they should not be as hot as they've been because of the fact that we had some cooling air overnight with those storms. So 108 for the forecast in Phoenix, but low 90s in Sedona, low 80s in Flagstaff are expected. And then in the days to come, our humidity levels start to drop off again. And as the humidity levels drop off, our temperature will start to climb again. So on the 10-day forecast, we're back to 111 tomorrow and 112 Saturday. And although there's a small reprieve Monday, by next week, 112, 113 going to be possible throughout the work week. So overall, this is just still a very hot 10-day, guys.
Yes. We have a couple of people in the chat saying thunder, 2 a.m. woke them.
Yes.
They had the dust, they had the alerts, but no rain. So pretty great. I loved it. I mean, keeps me awake at night, but I like
Well,
it.
and people said they wanted an active monsoon season.
Here it
There
is.
you delivered,
Yeah.
Crystal,
Mother
for
Nature
sure.
and
So-
Crystal working in unison. Thank you. We'll probably see you tomorrow.
Okay. So
We'll just
Okay.
keep
Yeah.
it going.
Why not?
5 days in
Yeah.
a row.
Okay, let's talk about what you're reading, folks.
These are the top 3 web stories right now on fox10phoenix.com.
27-year-old mother visiting from New York violently attacked while asking for directions during a trip to Havasu Falls. Suspect has been identified as a tribe member there, Tyler Nardo. Paya allegedly stabbed the woman, stole her phone before running away. He is now in federal custody.
Our second most clicked on story right now on fox10phoenix.com. Scottsdale man arrested in connection with prostitution, allegedly involving his very own girlfriend.
The woman's also facing prostitution-related charges. And then we have a 44-year-old man who died after he was shot by a contracted security guard at a Phoenix business right in the area of Peoria Avenue and Black Canyon Highway. We covered this Tuesday. The man showed a gun, security guard, and was questioned and released. Now this.
Phoenix 911, where is your emergency? Somebody just died, my boyfriend.
Our son is dead.
This is a situation where there's no winners.
It has broken our family.
But it was his choice to attack.
Can you say this is clearly self-defense?
Given where the locations of the wounds are?
How is that humanly possible? He had just been robbed, beaten, and attempted murdered. I want justice for my grandson. We wish our boys had never met.
Well, that is the trailer for a brand new investigation that our Justin Lum has been working diligently on.
Those words, I wish our boys had never met, almost sums it all up.
It's a very chilling soundbite right there. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and in interviews, people say things to you that stick with you. That's definitely one of the many in this special report that we're streaming tonight, Aftermath, the death of Jalen Reeves, streaming on our platforms at 3 p.m. today. But this is something we've been working on for a long time.
So this happened in 2024. Refresh our minds, because after you ran that promo, I was like, I do remember covering this story.
Yeah, this is the Lakewood community in an Ahwatukee neighborhood. Very beautiful, quiet neighborhood, a suburban area, and it was a late night fight involving 2 groups of teenagers, including 15-year-old Jalen Reeves, who was a football player at Mountain Point High School. According to the police report, he started this fight. That's what witness statements say, but there's also a little element in there, detail about someone may have thrown a punch at him. But ultimately this ends with a fatal stabbing. The suspect was 14 at the time. He was never arrested or charged. The claim was self-defense, although Phoenix PD did recommend a second-degree murder charge. That was declined by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office.
So the suspect, no charges.
Nothing.
Walking away.
The self-defense claim, according to prosecutors, was strong enough to not go forward, not even presented to a grand jury. Again, Phoenix PD believed that there was enough evidence to show that there was a second-degree murder charge. So we went through the 300-page police report, the autopsy report, and the body diagram showing Jalen's stab wounds. And we actually brought that to a forensic pathologist to review the autopsy and to ask, do you think this is truly self-defense? So that will be answered in this case, and also explanations from Rachel Mitchell.
Okay, so you have stab wounds to the victim, but were there any wounds to the suspect, the 14-year-old, that would indicate that this was self-defense?
There were medical records showing injuries like cuts, bruises, skull contusion to this 14-year-old boy. According to some witness statements, he had been slammed to the ground by Jalen. He had been punched a couple of times. At no point do we know of Jalen carrying a weapon himself, but this knife comes out in the self-defense claim by the 14-year-old boy. And for the first time, we really have both sides of the story. I mean, we do a lot of homicide cases and sad stories. We talk to the deceased family. We are talking to the mother of that teen boy who stabbed Jalen to death.
And I wanted to ask you about that because, I mean, that must be difficult to talk to these individuals. They still want justice in this case. They're not really letting this go.
The family of Jalen Reeves is not letting this go despite Rachel Mitchell's decision. They would like to send this to the Attorney General's office. I mean, they really are throwing a Hail Mary here. They just want people to know what happened, and we're trying to figure out what really happened. There's no surveillance video from that night showing this fight. There's no cell phone video that we know of. And so this is they really want light shed on this case. At the same time, it's already been denied and declined, and we're hearing from that other side of the family. So you really have two sides to this. It is It can be controversial. It is uncomfortable. It is complex, and it's a very sad story, involving one death here.
What about witnesses? I do now remember covering this, and there was, if I'm not mistaken, a group of teens out there. Are they not talking?
They, I guess, through their family, their parents spoke to police. They were minors at the time, and there were conflicting statements. And I believe the quote in the police report, according to the investigator, that some of these teens were just not as forthcoming. They were scared. I mean, even Jalen's own friends that we know of did not call the police or call 911 after the stabbing. They dropped him off basically near his home. His girlfriend called 911. The boy who stabbed him went to his friend's home, and there was a sleepover. He did not tell his mom till the next morning what happened. He also didn't know that Jalen had died or was dying at the time. He knows that he had stabbed him and was doing that to save his life, according to his statement. But there are some questions raised on that gap in time. And once his mom found out, she brought in lawyers to help defend him, and then we take it from there with this deep dive.
We have about a minute left. Complex doesn't even.
Yeah, we could keep talking about this.
So many questions. When does it air? How can people watch it?
It will be streaming on our Fox Local app and the YouTube channel at 3 p.m. and we'll be showing some portions of this in our 4 and 5 p.m. newscasts. This is a 20-minute report, so that really doesn't fit in our newscast, but we'll be showing some previews of this, and we've been talking about this through the morning. So yeah, this is very important to us and everybody that was involved and participated in this story.
I don't want you to give an opinion. I'm not asking you for opinions, but through your research, if you're able to form an opinion, do you think the viewers will be able to do the same thing?
We got 15 seconds.
I think viewers will all have different opinions of this, and they will probably not agree with each other. In the end, I think they can agree this is a terribly tragic story involving two teenagers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Thank
Justin,
you.
thanks. We'll be watching.
Thank you.
Wow. What we're watching, what we're... Welcome back in. Question of the day, what year is it? NFL is formed as the American Professional Football Conference.
I have no idea.
I don't watch football.
All right, so here was the year. 1920.
I like football season, though, because that means it's getting cool and
There you
crisp.
go.
I like the games because I can nap. Don't come at me.
There you go.
Don't come at me.
All right, our next guest is going viral right now on Instagram. She's a singer-songwriter, but her videos online have garnered thousands, if not millions, of comments and views. Take a look at what we're talking about.
Karen, girl. You know, I truly never thought I'd have the privilege of coming across a Karen in real life, but here you are in my comment section. Congratulations, you have lived up to the stereotype. I kind of feel like I met the evil queen at Disneyland. You know, it's a little bittersweet.
That is Brittany Kellogg, and she's joining us here today.
Brittany, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
World famous, but you are an Arizona resident. We
sure
are
am.
so privileged. And so, did it start for you on American Idol? Is that how it started?
Like the career?
Yeah.
I went to a Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash concert when I was 6.
How cool.
And started singing immediately after that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that concert like?
I remember every single
Do you
thing.
really?
I remember the way it smelled in the room, like the weather outside.
I have goosebumps.
It was like life-changing for me. I looked at my grandma after and I was like, yeah, so I don't need school to do what they're doing. So I'm out.
I'm
good. So good.
I'm good.
And yeah.
And could you sing or
I mean, I feel like I could always, I always was singing with a hairbrush. But at that moment, my mom was like, okay, we need to get her into singing lessons. So I started taking singing lessons and performing literally anywhere I could.
So walk us through kind of your trajectory of this career, because you obviously knew that you wanted to do this from a very young age. And now I was listening to you on Spotify. I mean, isn't that weird that you're on Spotify? That people can like listen to you in their car? I just
She's
think
like,
that's
no,
wild.
I think
It's so cool.
It is cool, but I think it's just wild that, I mean, you're a legit artist.
Thank you. That's so nice. Yeah, been singing my whole life, and then kind of took a little sidebar turn, married my high school sweetheart. He wasn't super supportive of the music. He wanted to be a basketball star, so I kind of followed him around.
But you were supportive of him.
Of course. Yeah. And then really, like, there was a lot of infidelity in that relationship. And finally, when I was 3 months pregnant with our second, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so I left. And as soon as he was out of the picture, I was instantly back into music. And I've just been fighting ever since.
It sounds like a country song.
I've written it.
And I was listening
Not to laugh, but
Listen.
you are. I mean, I've listened to some of your music. Hey Mama being one of your biggest songs.
Yeah.
But it's like you have a story to tell, and I think that is why you resonate with so many of the fans. When you're up there singing, they are feeling it too.
Yeah, and I think that really is missing in country music right now. I don't think we really have, like, I'm a big fan of 90s country. I grew up on 90s country, and I feel like we don't have those storytelling songs. Like, I grew up on Martina McBride, you know, like Concrete Angel and Independence Day, like all these songs that really tell a story. And so I really just try to stay true to that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you where you get your inspiration, but that kind of, I guess, sums it up, right? Just kind of life experiences.
Yeah, I really try. Like, there's even times when I'm writing a song and one of my co-writers will be like, what about like this? And I'm like, but that's not what happened. Like, I want it to be really authentic and real to my life, because I know there's other people that have been through exactly what I've been through, and I want it to be very like authentic.
Talk about American Idol. You know, what led you to that?
I tried out, like, I think the third time I finally made it through to the like producers. It's a very long
process.
Yeah, it's a very long process. And I just, you know, it was really big back then. My first year auditioning was the Carrie Underwood season, and finally made it to Hollywood and then all the way to Las Vegas. So it was a pretty amazing experience.
I can imagine.
Did that open any doors for you after
Absolutely.
that?
I feel like that is really what kind of started like the trajectory to like having a fan base, and really starting to want to play music like more for a living than just a hobby.
Sure. I was going to ask you about being in Arizona. I mean, obviously we kind of think of like Nashville as the country music capital of the world, but you've got a huge fan base here, and you were just in Laughlin doing how many shows?
I did 4 nights in Laughlin.
And sold out every night.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 sold out shows. I was going to promote your shows here, but you're like, they're already sold
bummed.
out.
It's crazy.
Do you stream them live maybe? I don't know.
That's a really good idea.
I don't know.
That's a really good idea.
Anita can just hold the phone
I don't
for you
know.
if you
I'll
want.
come and
I'm going to do that.
My arms might get a little tired.
idea.
I mean, we could
that
charge a
idea.
small fee.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't know.
I'll pay you.
Okay.
I love your idea.
I don't know. I'm always thinking.
No, we
yeah,
planned this one show for tonight, and then it sold out like in 30 minutes. And
Whoa.
so they were like, "Can we do another one on Friday?" And I'm like, "Sure." That one sold out too.
What does that
So-
mean to you? Like that you're garnering this type of attention?
I think like after doing it for so long, it's really amazing to like feel finally like I'm being seen and like my music is really starting to touch people, and it's all because I've been carrying my trash can to the curb. Like that's really, really crazy, and I'm really grateful.
Well,
talk to us a little bit about the trash can, because that's the first video that we saw, and when you sat down I asked you, how did this get started?
Yeah, I mean, it really genuinely started a long time ago, like 2021. I wanted to kind of like just be on the same level as moms out there. Like, yeah, I'm a country singer.
Just
but
for yourself, not for social media. You were
it was
just
for social media.
Okay.
Yeah, like I would carry my trash can to the curb with my tripod and like sing "Hey Mama," like, and just be like, yeah, like I carry my trash can. This sucks, you know. But then 2 years ago, I took my son to the Eras tour, and he's a massive Taylor Swift fan. Yeah. And he had watched every live stream that there was. And so when he knew, like, okay, this song means she's coming out next. And, you know, they had guessed her outfits and all this stuff. So when she came out, he got very emotional. He's a very, like, emotional kid, and I love that about him. He has a lot of empathy. And when she came out, he just lost it and was sob crying. And I posted it, and I was just like, it's so cool that music does this to people,
Sure.
you know? And he was getting death threats, and it was awful. It was terrible. And so I was like, you know, we should take all these comments and like physically put them in the trash. So we dragged the trash can to the curb, sang a Taylor Swift song, and then it's just really evolved from there into like, now I like do a deep dive into their social media and I roast them and find things about them. Like I this morning found next week's victim, and I'm so excited about it.
And you know what? But it's like you call them a victim, but we call them keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
And we fall privy to it as well. We'll get comments about our hair, our makeup, our, you know, what we're wearing, how we say something, what we say, and we're people too. And I get that when you work in
the public eye,
you're going to get comments.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to remind people we have feelings too.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of relate it to, I send my daughter or my kids to school every day. And just because I send them to school doesn't mean that they should get bullied at school.
Right.
Like, so just because I'm online doesn't mean that I should
That
get
it's
bullied.
okay.
Because I have a public platform. And I've had so many creators reach out to me, massive creators. Kristen Chenoweth, one of them, like, that was like, thank you for making us feel seen, because they get the hate comments too. And it's like, it gives them like a feeling of empowerment. Like, yeah, you know, like that's not nice. And
You're doing what we want to do. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
sometimes you just want to tell people you can't say that.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
So I show their face and I look at their profile and I'm like, oh, well, you said this, but you're doing this. Like, that's interesting. So
I love that.
Do you have a favorite?
I think his name was Joe.
Oh,
and
hey, Joe.
He said, not yet, boo. Keep trying, but he spelled trying Triene.
Triene.
So I was like, that sounds expensive. It sounds like Triene. And so now I have hats that say Triene on them. So I've made
Stop
like
it.
merch out of it. Yeah.
And you sell your mugs now because you go out to the curb with a
Yes.
tequila, right?
Yep.
That's your drink of choice.
Yes, tequila and a red vine straw.
And a red vine straw.
Yeah,
I like
and
it.
Started selling my mugs like 10 days ago, and I've already sold 1,100 of them.
No
Wow.
way.
Yes, people are crazy.
Oh, we should
love
have
that.
asked you to bring us some.
I don't have any. 'cause
Oh
they're
my
all
sold
God!
out.
I would totally be drinking my coffee out of that thing
I'll bring you
every
guys one.
single
I love this.
morning.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear back from someone that you roasted?
yeah.
Has anybody ever been like, "Hey, you're right.
Sorry.
LOL, sorry."
So
didn't
there's
mean to
only
try that
one
hard.
person. She's Camel Toe Cynthia is what I call her. Can I say that on TV? I
You
already
just
said
did.
it.
It's
Sorry.
fine. It's fine.
Sorry. We were actually at Starbucks at the airport, and somebody's to-go order was Cynthia, and my daughter's like, "Mom, that's Cynthia," but she said the other thing first. She actually still follows me and commented recently, and I was like, "Wait, Cynthia, you're still here?" I was like, "Yeah, like
You're coming back for more,
She's
lady?
like, "I actually really enjoy your content, and like, I'm really sorry for what I said," and that was like public. But for the most part, it's like, please take this video down. Like, it's really, people are messaging me, and it's really affecting me, which is why I started taking out last names, because the whole point is not to bully back. Like,
Right.
yes, I want their face to be shown, and there have been times where people are like, "Oh my gosh, I know her," and like, thank you for like calling her out. But I don't want people to go back and bully them. That's not the point. at all.
I love it though.
I know.
I'm gonna start giving you some of my hate comments, and you can make
I
videos on my
know.
behalf.
Let's do it.
So
You want to come to my house and we can pull the garbage can out?
Let's do it.
Mine's on Wednesday though.
Okay. Well,
So's
my trash day
mine.
is actually Monday. So I do it on Tuesday because Trash Tuesday, and also my trash can's empty. We live in Arizona. If I was full of trash can, there'd be flies. You know.
Or the
Yeah, I think
Javelina is coming.
We can also
Yeah.
make it Trash Thursday, since that's what today is.
Yeah, I do Treasure Thursday. So
I had
the good comments.
I like that. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
The good with the bad.
That's right.
I like
You
that.
have to take it that way. I had a woman message me once. I used to have longer hair, health problems. It was falling out. And she told me I looked like a wet chicken. So I said thank you and explained what was going on. But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
Why?
We still call her wet chicken.
They
though.
do.
I love that.
I'll pull up memes of wet chickens. There are photos.
I'm sure there
There
are.
are photos,
I
but
just don't get it.
I don't.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
it's a tough thing about the
'Cause
world.
They would never come up to you and say
No.
that to your face. And
Never.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was at the grocery store the other. No,
Uh-oh.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, they wouldn't. You're right. They wouldn't.
No.
Well, Brittany, we've only got about a minute left, but give us where people can get more information if they want to come see one of your shows, how they can
Absolutely.
follow you.
All my information's on BrittanyKellogg.com, and all my socials are also under Brittany Kellogg. It's spelled kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Double
Two B's.
L's.
Just like the cereal, but
And
first
it's
name is
BRITNEE.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
It's definitely
Please
worth
come
a
back.
follow.
I would love to.
Maybe we can make it like a monthly Trash Tuesday.
it.
We can just read the comments.
Let's do it. We should read your comments. Put their faces up.
I don't.
Just an idea.
I like
That was a while ago.
Brittany.
She never came back and apologized.
Hey,
but
that's okay.
So if you're out there,
I
wet
appreciate
chicken
the
lady,
apology.
She put her chicken tail between her legs and ran away. Yeah.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Brittany, it
Thank
was
you
a
so much.
pleasure.
Have a great show tonight.
you.
All right, bye guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
All right, everybody. There you go. Another view of downtown Phoenix and Dean's Cam. Well, let me just tell you, it's this one right here. Now, that's Port Canaveral, Florida. Sometimes we take it, it's so boring looking. It's just like a canal. But they got a big old ship getting ready to pull on out, Des. Man,
I
look
wonder
at
where they're going.
And look at how many layers you've got there. What is that, like 10 levels of staterooms, I guess they call them?
Yeah, these cruise ships are like mini cities at this point.
It's really pretty incredible. I've only gone on 2 cruises, and both times I was flabbergasted that I didn't gain 10 pounds each time.
Oh, really?
There's so much food.
Typical man. I probably gained 20 when I walked off the cruise ship.
Oh, my gosh. Well, anyway, yeah. You know, the thing about it is you're like a mile or 2 away from world-famous Cocoa Beach and the Ron John Surf Shop. I feel like I used to see more of those bumper stickers, the Ron John Surf Shop.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You
They
sort of
that
have to go
unique
there, right?
Lettering and
All right, let's bring everybody up to speed. Hi, Ron and Des. Zach Pope coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's bring you up to speed on this crazy weather. Look at the way the winds were just whipping those trees. I feel like I just got a text from a friend of mine at his golf course. 2 old trees are both about 100 feet tall, ripped right out of the ground.
Really?
And you look at this parking lot here and you say to yourself, I guess they probably were pretty lucky. When did you and I haven't talked about this, but were you awakened by the storm?
I had never gone to sleep.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, my kids wanted to give me a time last night. Won't get into that. Go look on my social. But
really?
yeah,
Okay.
I just had one kind of not wanting to go to sleep and the other crying and asking where Daddy was.
Aw.
Yeah, so I was still awake. Yeah, the storm, that alert came out at just before 9:15. It was pretty loud. And then we started hearing the wind like whipping the house. So at that point I just said, "All right, everybody, get in bed with me."
Oh, there you go. Good. All right, so they were ready to go for that.
And you heard it too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Did it wake you up, or were you already
You know
sleeping?
what's weird is it woke me up at midnight. And I went out and I opened the back door and it was just coming down in sheets. And I'm like, wow. And then we had these power lines that were down. So we didn't see a lot of major damage. Although as the morning went on, we kept getting more and more reports. APS and SRP had to work through the night to get thousands of outages solved and get the power back on. It's just that time of year. You don't want to be without your AC for even a few hours. And it's really quite impressive how quickly they mobilize to take care of
And we
everything.
appreciate those crews, having to get up in the middle of the night when everyone else is, sleeping, doing that kind of work.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate them.
Hey, we didn't get a chance last hour to get to our poll question. So let's do it right now. And then we're about a minute away from Zach on his Thursday visit. So the national debt yesterday hit $40 trillion. I almost said $4 trillion, which seems like a lot of money.
Wouldn't that be nice? No,
Yeah.
4-0.
It's unbelievable. And so right now 60% say, look, government spending's out of control, solve it. 3% are saying the problem isn't so much spending, it's that we're not getting enough in tax money. 37% say this will never change until there's a balanced budget to the Constitution. That's QR code poll. How's it looking at YouTube, Des?
Yeah, and when we switch over here to YouTube to take a look at our numbers
Do we have that YouTube?
I believe.
I'm
Do we
not
have
sure
that,
we do.
Dave? Yeah, because Dave, you were saying we have like more than 3,000 votes? 3,500 votes. Awesome.
I just punched it up, but hold on. Here we go. No. Oh, yeah, we got a router situation.
All right.
Okay,
I guess
we're
you'll just
gonna
have
route
to take
it?
our word for it.
No, we can route it. Ready?
Yeah.
Here it goes. Oh, no. All right. Well, Dave.
I'll just tell you the comments.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we haven't had a Dave cam in a while. Hi, Dave. Happy Thursday.
You think the audience isn't getting a little rowdy here?
And while our amazing director Ronnie is routing that shot up for you, I can tell you what the results are. 3,500 votes already. The government spending is out of control. Time to rein it in. 61%. The problem isn't spending. We're not collecting enough in taxes. 11%. And it'll never change till there's a balanced budget. Constitutional amendment. 28%. Few comments. Nana Cunningham, 3199, says more taxes will not fix it. Laws that are written to stop the fraud are a better way to go. Haunted Voyager 8196 says cut military spending in half, tax billionaires and multi-billion-dollar corporations higher, problem solved. And Skid Moda says spending is out of control. It's good they're finally looking for fraud. The funding should be cut by how much fraud they find and put tariff revenue towards the debt balance. Really interesting comments. Keep them coming, guys.
Oh, there's a new idea.
And it's on ENG21. Look at that.
There it is. Yes. 3,000 people are fired up about this topic, Des.
Yeah, I feel like, right, get them talking about money or food, and we'll see a lot of votes.
Right, for sure.
Yeah,
all right.
Thanks for voting, guys.
All right. Thank you for Ronnie for getting that up for us there. Zach Pope time.
Yeah, we love your visits. Hey,
No,
how
I
are
appreciate
you?
coming in. I love doing this show. I think it's a blast.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a fun movie coming out this week called Mutiny with Jason Statham.
Okay.
He's
huge
still
fan over here.
Exactly, same. Like,
Tell us about it.
You know, so I haven't actually gotten to see this one yet. I'm going tonight to the theaters to watch this myself.
Mm,
But what
okay.
it's basically been marketed as is Die Hard on a boat instead of a tower. And it's Jason Statham starring it. And for me, like, he does a lot of action movies, and some are kind of generic and some are, you know, a little bit more unique. And this one, when I watched the trailer and I saw a knife go through someone's head, I said, okay, this one seems to be a little bit more violent than the last few he's done. Let me clock in for this. The director of this did a movie called Plane, which also seemed to be generic from the title, about a plane that gets crash landed with Gerard Butler. And that movie was a huge surprise. So Mutiny for me looks fun, looks awesome. I'm really excited to, you know, go to my 5 p.m. showing at my AMC and sit down and eat some popcorn and watch Jason Statham take out some guys on a boat.
I like the
very
poster.
cool. The
You know, when
poster's
you're
awesome,
walking
yeah.
up, right when you're trying to decide which one you're going to go to. That looks good.
You don't need much convincing on my end.
Not
to
at
go
all.
See a Jason
Yeah,
Statham.
and he's just been, you know, I feel like the last few years he's kind of been experimenting a little bit more with more unique action films. He had one earlier this year called Shelter that I did like quite a bit, but two in particular that I want to mention is Wrath of Man and Beekeeper. Now, Beekeeper is actually getting a sequel in January, and I'm very excited for that. My grandpa, before he passed away, that was his favorite movie. He'd rewatch it all the time because it was about a dude who basically was just retired, spec ops soldier, but he was helping take care of this older lady who gets scammed on the phone by someone, and he said, I don't like that. And he goes towards those people who scam people on the phone and takes them all out.
Yeah.
And it was
when I
fun
saw
thing.
Beekeeper, I was confused. So they're coming out with another.
Another one in January,
Okay.
yeah. And the director who's involved with that one, his name's Timo, but he's done a lot of really interesting action movies, and he worked in stunt choreograph for a long time. So I'm out of my mind, like, excited to see what he's going to do there. And then Wrath of Man is half drama, half action. And you actually get to see Jason Statham do a little bit more dramatic like work here, and that was the thing that I think we kind of forget, that he's also just an actor. He's not just the action guy. He actually can bring some emotional chops to it, and I would say this is maybe my top 5 films of his career for me. Like, I love revisiting this movie. It came out around COVID time, so a lot of people missed it in theaters. But for me, it's just like seeing the dramatic work that he was able to do in here, as well as the action. It's fun. Plus, Guy Ritchie directed the movie, and I love a good Guy Ritchie movie. So,
what's the plot line of
Wrath of Man is about a dude who basically is going after people who are robbing banks, but he's trying to figure out why they are. And it all ties into his past that happened to do with his child. I won't get into too many spoilers on that because that was kind of the thing that really hooked me, because I was really surprised. I went in going, oh, this is going to be a typical Jason Statham action movie, and I didn't expect to walk away feeling actually emotionally resonated with the movie in some ways. So I feel like a lot of people haven't seen this one, and they really should, because it's honestly one of my favorites that he's ever done. And I'm hoping Mutiny kind of feels that same tension to it, you know, because I feel like we don't get a lot of action films like Die Hard nowadays, and Die Hard is a classic action film from back in the day too.
By the way, I should have rolled the video for Beekeeper because we have it here. Let's talk just a little bit more about it.
Yeah.
And your grandpa loved it. To me, that sounds like a pretty darn good endorsement.
Exactly, yeah. Like, and I've actually like talked to the director like of the new one. I said my grandpa was looking forward so much to your movie, so I cannot wait
where
to
did
see
you
it.
get to speak with the director?
Just on Twitter. I just like messaged him and I said, hey, like I see you're making this movie. I just want you to know that like my grandpa, before he passed, he told me, he's like, I can't wait for you to see The Beekeeper too. And so like, because this is the only movie my grandpa would talk about. This and Top Gun Maverick. I'm not even lying. Like, and so that's a big endorsement. You know, he said, I just want to keep going seeing. I love that he's helping older people. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Like, you don't like, sometimes you just need that simple motivation of, if you're going to keep scamming people over the phone, maybe we should get an action film of someone going after those people.
There have only been 2 movies in my life that I've been willing to go pay to see twice.
Okay.
One was Braveheart forever ago, and then Maverick.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm in pretty good company with your Gramps.
100%.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Those are both classics.
Okay.
Braveheart.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see Jason Statham not in a action role?
You know what? I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Spy with him. It's a spy comedy with him and Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, someone back there goes, it's pretty good.
It's actually...
Dave likes it.
It's really good.
That sounds funny.
I'm not a huge fan of Melissa McCarthy personally in comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
She's funny. But, like, sometimes her shtick gets a little bit the same thing. I've seen it before here and there. But Spy was the one that I went, okay, I actually think she's funny. And Jason Statham is hilarious in this movie. So I actually really recommend that one, too. I think it's streaming on Amazon Prime. I could be wrong there. But
yeah, we'll look it up.
If no one's ever checked that one out before, that's another one that I would highly recommend to viewers.
Well, this is how the show has come full circle because we just had Sean Spicer on like 3 days ago. And remember Melissa McCarthy on Saturday Night Live with the motorized podium?
Yeah.
Right? She played a perfect Sean Spicer.
Man.
So perfect.
She is funny.
Wow.
And you're on the show tomorrow morning?
Yes,
on
tomorrow
Fox 10
morning.
Easy AM.
Yeah, so
great.
I'll be reviewing Mutiny on there. I'll also be reviewing a couple other little things,
good.
specifically the new Insidious movie, a new horror movie I got to go see. So yeah, some fun things to talk about next week.
Okay, perfect. So you guys will have to tune in tomorrow morning too to see what he thinks of Mutiny.
I just feel like they're really starting to nail it back at the movie theaters.
It is
right?
nice. I love going to the movies.
Did you guys see
longer
this
and longer list?
The AMC Fandango and basically anywhere you can buy movie tickets all crashed because of Dune. Dune put up their tickets and I had struggles buying tickets. And I have all my strategies and everything, and I'm texting my wife, and I'm like, I'm getting so mad. I can't buy my Dune 3 tickets. I have to see it opening night. And I don't know how she did it, but she texted me. She goes, I got you too. And I was like, how? I've been sitting here for 30 minutes trying to buy tickets, and she sent me a
really
screenshot.
picked right.
Exactly. She knew exactly where to pick too. So.
Always go to the lady. She's going to figure it out. We have one of the more mysterious mystery cams. Talk about mysterious.
Ooh, where is this, you guys? It's a good one.
Give us your guess. Thanks, Zach. It is Mystery Cam time. Look at that car that just pulled out right there with the headlights on, Des. Taking a right. That was right in the center. I did not like the look of that car. It looked somewhat sinister on a very spooky-looking day. And what do you think? I could see this being the Blue Ridge Mountains. West Virginia, the Carolinas. I could also see it being more up into New England. Mm-hmm. This is a great mystery, Cam.
That sounds good.
I mean, you could look at this and come up with a whole movie plot line with Zach.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, what do you
think?
Yeah?
I will go for Virginia.
Okay.
Sure.
I could surely see that. I think I'm going to go up into New England. Those are some big old mountains there.
Yeah.
So I could see Virginia. I could also see a Tennessee, but I think I'm going to go like a New Hampshire. There's something about the White Steeple Church and just a few of those older homes right there on Main Street. Oh. Did I just see a lightning flash there? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we're all spooked by all the lightning we had last night. That was one heck of a storm. All right, Desiree. Here she is, everybody, with the answer.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay.
There we go. Mystery Cam reveal.
Will it be Virginia? Will it be New Hampshire? Will
you
it
know
be...
what? I was kind of wondering if it was Pennsylvania.
Oh, it's PA.
It's Bedford, PA.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
That is really... here's the funny thing about...
I was thinking, wow, I don't know. Those look the mountains or the... I was like, that looked almost too grand, but I guess so.
The thing about it is we love living here. But as it gets on toward the end of August and September, and we're in the last 6 weeks of our 100 plus and even 110 plus, every other place looks pretty darn good. Especially if it's raining.
Especially this time of year.
Today,
yes, please
Bedford,
send
PA.
us some of the rain. That's what we're channeling from this mystery cam.
The funny thing is, I was there last year with Renee. In
Oh,
October, we made a little fall trip and we went to Bedford. And it's a town that has been there as long as George Washington was living. And he actually led the troops during the Whiskey Rebellion. This is early American history. And he led the troops out as far as Bedford, PA. And it is a beautiful part of the country. So now I'm really kicking myself because I was just in that town a year ago and I didn't get it right. Okay, hey, let's do this. Let's bring Annie on. Annie Ethington from the Arizona Science Center. You guys have a lot of fun over there.
Oh, we like to have fun.
You guys are always busy.
Oh, that is for certain. Always doing things, always bringing new science and making it exciting for everybody to engage with.
Right.
So right now, I'm here to promote our exhibit that we have, our Julia Child Recipe for Life exhibit.
Okay.
Focusing on Julia Child, the iconic chef, the French chef, who really influenced American cooking in the early 1900s. Maybe not early 1900s, but
the 50s.
The 50s.
The 60s.
Maybe not so early. Mid 1900s. And really kind of changing the game for what the American society thought of cooking, and specifically French cuisine.
She really was the pioneer of TV cooking shows.
Yes, she was. She was one of the first chefs that had a show that she would show you something, how to cook it, and everything like that. And she had a great personality. And in the exhibit, you can really see the clips that they have of her, and her personality just shines through. One of my favorite things is where she was talking about how she wanted to cook with some cheese, and so they ordered some cheese, and they got this massive wheel of cheese that's huge. And so
careful what you wish for.
Absolutely,
right?
and so it's just a situation of basically, she did not use this phrase, but roll with the punches.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So how do people experience it if they come down to the Science Center?
So at the exhibit, as I said, it's a traveling exhibit, so it's only here for a limited time. We only have about a month and a half that we're going to have it here. But you're going to enter and you're going to learn kind of the early life of Julia Child, and it's a little bit immersive. There's an area where you can go, and it's like a dinner table set up with a plates and wine glasses and everything like that. And there's actually projections that will change the food that's on the plates.
Oh.
So you see that there are pots and pans that have lids, and if you open it up, you'll be able to smell a dish. They'll have like an example of what the dish looks like that you can experience and learn for. They have genuine things from Julia Child, such as letters and cookbooks, everything like that. And then my favorite part, it's a hit with like families, is they have like a recreation of a filming studio, a kitchen filming studio set up with like a kitchen in the background and like the countertops, and you have pots and pans, and so you can pretend to do a cooking show and whisk up something and da-da-da-da-da.
That's brilliant.
And then they have an actual like camera from that time, from like the 60s, that you can move, and it'll have a projection up on the side so you can see the live footage of them doing their cooking show.
Oh, wow.
And you can open drawers, and sometimes it'll be like a fridge, and you open it up and shows you a little bit of like ingredients that you would use and some information, or you pull open a drawer and it's actually a video of Julia and a little tidbit about her life.
There it is.
There it is,
that's
right
awesome.
there. It's so much fun.
How cool is that
love
space?
that.
Like, just to
Yeah.
step back in time and see what it was like, when she was going through all this. What
Hey,
a
Dave,
pioneer.
can you line up a new kitchen studio for us like this for Fox 10 Talks? Let's go to Dave. He can do it.
But yeah, so you can just like have a lot of fun. I love watching families get in here, and they just really get into the spirit of cooking.
Get in, be into
and
the
spirit
moment.
of like family as well, just playing along. And you can see the camera that does have like, it's been programmed and edited, revamped, if you will, because it doesn't have a live streaming feature inside a camera from the 60s. They didn't even know what live streaming was. But they have it projected. They make it sepia tones, so that way you can experience what it kind of looked like.
And what are some,
Over there, this just shows like all the kinds of cookware that Julia Child used on the regular. It's actually expanded at Arizona Science Center. It's much larger. And just kind of seeing all of the different tools that you need for cooking, because there is a science to cooking. And so
these
we
photos
lean
are
into
from
that.
the exhibit that might have been in other spots around the country too, not necessarily at Arizona
it
Science
travels around, so we have it here. Like I said, it's only going to be here for about another month and a half.
Oh, okay. And there's some other experiences that folks can get involved in. What are some of those? The joy of etching. You have apron embroidery.
Yes. So these are in partnership with our Create Makerspace. To have people come in and make something related to cooking. Like you said, glass etching, it's where we have the special material that you put coating on a stencil on a glass, and then over time it etches and corrodes just slightly on the exterior of the glass, and you can make a design from stencils or freehand if you're feeling ambitious. There's apron embroidery, there's wooden cutting board burning, so similar thing to the glass etching, but it's burned into the wood with what we call scorch paint.
Okay.
And then we also have other experiences like cake decorating has been very popular, which makes me really happy just because that is with a local business. I think actually I saw a business card in here.
Is it Dolce Miel Bakery?
Yes, Dolce Miel
Dolce
Bakery.
Miel Bakery.
Right here,
Ooh.
there's a business card.
I actually
And
love baking.
So
I'm like
you don't
self-taught
bake
during the COVID
cake.
era, right?
But
But that was fun to experiment. But you can go and get some decorating.
Yeah, you
tips.
come in and they provide the
Pretty
cakes, and Estrella is the one who leads them, and she shows you all the different like kind of cake decorating frosting tips that you can use and how you use them to make the different designs.
I
And
need
you
to sign up for
decorate
that
a cake.
one. Level up my game.
Like you have time for a lot
I
of
don't,
extra
but
baking.
I would love to.
It happens in the evenings.
Oh, I see that one's Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, the 12th and 19th.
We do have to run. What's the last couple of days so people know how much time we have left? It's just another 2 weeks or so, right?
Something, yeah,
About like
not
that?
very long.
Yeah. So
If
maybe
you're
come
ever
now.
curious about the
Yeah.
times, definitely go onto azscience.org and just follow the Julia Child exhibits. It'll show you.
Oh
down
yeah,
at the
because I see
bottom.
some of these experiences are
They're
you may have
one
missed the
day,
mark. Yeah,
absolutely.
A Taste of France is still coming.
That
I
one
see
is
that
still
one.
a
Saturday,
really big one
August
where
22nd.
they actually have different wines from France
Oh.
that they have a sommelier that kind of walks you through the experience. Because the thing with Julia was she thought that like wine was just meant to be enjoyed with good food. She didn't want to get too much into like the chemical composition or anything like that. She was just like, this tastes good with this. And so they have 4 different wines of different types that they walk you through, along with the charcuterie board, and they talk about like where it's from and a little bit of a flavor profile and what it pairs with, kind of keeping into that passion for flavor that Julia loved.
Well, perfect. Annie, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
sharing about the
you.
exhibit with us. Yeah. Sounds like there's something for the kids, the
Yep.
family, and
Sure.
mom and dad with the wine tasting.
There you go.
Everybody.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you, Annie.
Thank you.
Okay, a couple other stories before we go. The headline says LinkedIn has accidentally become a dating site. So, of course, you're supposed to use it for job hunting, but dating, well, according to a new survey, over 20% of professionals say that using the site as a tool to make romantic connections is A-OK with them. The platform's guidelines strictly forbid any type of flirtation. But still, close to 25% are saying, whatever your rules are, I think I just met the love of my life.
I mean, so then how are you shooting your shot if there's no flirting allowed? Or, like, how do you...
Right?
I
think this is one where the lawyers are like,
You
oh,
just
no, we can't go down that road.
develop a very professional email that explains you're looking for a
Right.
love interest.
Yes,
and
exactly. Because ultimately it could end like this, a wedding.
First we had McDonald's nuptials, and now we
Yes.
got this.
I know, this is an amazing story. So this is a couple from New York who tied the knot 14,000 feet in the air. They went skydiving to kick off their whole ceremony down on the ground. So they started up in the air, and then this is where it all happens.
And
So-
like her hair is still perfect. Shout out to her hairstylist because she landed, and these pictures are gorgeous.
That must be,
That's
because when I
great.
jumped out of a plane, we were also 14th. That must be the magic number. They push you out of that plane at 14,000, and away you go. Come on, Des. The field is wide open.
I got to catch up
whenever
with you.
For sure. All right. Well, that looks like a happy start to a marriage for sure.
Yeah, pretty cool. All right, thanks for joining us today, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.